Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all well. Hello, Heaven. How you doing? Hope you're well. Thank you for the like. Hello, Red Bull. Thank you. You too. Just put out a new short if you haven't seen it. Yeah, got a new short. So that's on 115 views apparently. So yeah. Alright. How are we doing tonight, everybody? Hope you're all well. So I did what's it called, bodyweight tricep extensions. So yeah, so they're good ones that you can do at home. So if you wanted to work your triceps at home, it's a way to do that. And yeah. Anyway, is everyone okay? Hope you're all well tonight. If anyone's new here, welcome in. If you're coming back, welcome back. So yeah, it's just been itching a bit. I don't know. It's just kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It's like on my back, so I was just getting, I don't know, just yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, it's the worst things that can happen. But yeah, I had a phone call with my dad earlier. Well, he might be coming around tomorrow, so. But yeah, so what's everybody been up to today then? Hope everyone's had a good day. Yeah, so it's good I've started being able to do the body weight tricep extensions, like proper ones, like on the floor. You can make it easier by doing it on like an elevated surface. That's a way to kind of make it less challenging. So let me just kind of try and show an example, right? So if you want to do the tricep extensions easier, you can just kind of do it on a, let me just try and show you guys. So you could just do it on like this, right? I mean, just kind of, that'll be just like for beginners, I guess. So that's like, yeah, gonna hit your triceps. You could just use a bar or something, but yeah, so there's always different ways that you can do it for like beginners and stuff. Like for example, if you can't do push-ups, you can either start off with knee push-ups or wall push-ups even. Hi Paul. Okay, thank you. Number one stream in the world, I don't know about that, but maybe we'll get there one day. But yeah, hello Flashpoint. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, just been a bit busy, but I'm back in town. Jamie Brown is back in town. Yeah, how are we doing tonight? Hit that like button, everybody. Thank you. So yeah, hello DePro. I'm okay, thank you. How are you doing? Yeah, so don't know if you saw my last short, but yeah, just did a tricep extension video. This is like an at-home one. But yeah, okay, Jeremy, I was on sick leave. I'm good now. Should I stay home tomorrow? Because on the weekend I'm free. I mean, I can't really say what you should do. I mean, it's like, I know what you mean. Hello, Bree. I mean, if you're not supposed to be on sick leave, then I wouldn't do that. If that's what you mean. If you're supposed to be like going back to work, then you should do that, right? Like, you shouldn't stay on the sick leave longer than you should be, if that's what you're saying. Anyway, is everybody alright tonight then? Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Hello James, how you doing? I don't know, I don't know, being a bit weird the other day, James, like you were trying to, it's like you were trying to dox my address or some shit. So, I don't appreciate it when people do shit like that, so. Anyway, hello, Shadow Demon, hello, Chronic, hello, Double A, how you doing? Adam Burton, good to see you as well. Did you all see my latest short that I just did? Hello, Valenix. Yeah, it is, yeah. Hello, Long Gone, nice to meet you. You're from Greenland, are you? Greenland! We're gonna take Greenland away from you. We're going to take over Greenland. How do you like that? We're going to take Greenland. Greenland is ours for the taking. Oh, really? Okay. Hit that like button, got 13 people and 3 likes. Adam, I think so. Hello, Haley, good to see you. Fantastic, it's tremendous. It's very tremendous Trump impression. It's the greatest Trump impersonator. The Skywalker, what do you mean, like Luke Skywalker, or... Oh, Sir Ryan. Oh, really? Well, hello, if you know, you know. Good to see you tonight, everybody. Hit that like button, everybody. Hello, MF Shiny. We need to build a wall. A huge wall. I'm doing tremendously. Haley, how are you? Anakin Skywalker, that's the one. Matthew McConaughey, I heard someone say that earlier. Yeah, you like the Trump thing, do you? Oh, goodness. Yeah, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. That would be really appreciated. So, yeah. What's everybody been doing today, then? It's been a bit itchy, I don't know, but that's happened sometimes, doesn't it? Hello, Talking Pirate. Thank you! You're tremendous. You're a very tremendous guy. Yeah. Are you from Denmark? Hang on. Greenland. Oh, Greenland shall stay with Denmark. Oh, yeah. No way, Jose. We're going to take over Greenland. It's been alright, thank you, yeah. Yeah, just been a bit busy. Who's 25? What are you talking about? Hello, AS. How you doing? J to the B. Yeah, what's up, people? Hello, Teresa. How you doing? Let me think. Maybe I should put some poll or something like that. Or some question. Let's put a poll. Will world hunger stop any time soon? Yes or no? Let's just do this. We will make America great again. Hello there, Cecil. That's a good try, very good try. Trying hard. We like someone who tries. Yeah, God loves a trier. Triers are great, triers are tremendous, but you can't just try once and then not bother. That's like, they're losers. They are terrible people, the losers. We are the champions, my friends. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. We are the champions of the world. Hello there, Rindain Dara. How are you doing? Hope you had a tremendous day. It's so wonderful to see you. I need to stop doing that. Rinda, okay. Rinda in the row. Yeah, Rinda. How you doing, Rinda? Mr. President, why are you taking over Greenland and blaming it on Russia? Who said anything about Russia? I love Russia. I love Putin. Putin's a great guy. He's one of my best friends. He's a great ally to the American people, I would say so. You're making slander. I never blamed it on Putin. Graham Norton. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's Graham Norton here. I present shows like Over the Rainbow. I don't know. You should try and call people. There was a guy who did that, actually. You're a great impressionist. Oh, thank you. Adele. No, how can I do Adele? That's not one I can really do, is it? Hello, it's me. It's like, I don't know. I love your humor, thank you. I love my humor too. Feelings are mutual. Hello there, Phoebe. Ice hasn't got me yet. Ice, baby. You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. Hello, it's me. I'm in California dreaming of what we used to be. Well, California, more like California. They're full of communists. They're like crazy people. The communists are like really wackos. Hello there, Mick. Hope you had a tremendous day. California, I like Alabama and Mississippi and all those states. They're great states. I love them. Great people. Hello, Blackberry. How you doing? Whoa, Blackberry. Babylon. Whoa. Yeah. Oh, Graham. Oh, here we go with the mocklemizing again. Whoa, Blackberry. Babylon. Blackberry. Whatever. Do I like Greenlanders? I mean, just like any other country. Hello, Cold Electric Coffee Channel. How you doing? Okay, so you believe in that Jesus is Lord. Where's your evidence for that then? Is everybody alright tonight? Hope you've had a great day. Hello, Samirana. Oh, thank you. I got a very deep voice. That's why they're all so jealous. They are so envious of my deep voice. I got the greatest voice. You've just been doing a quiz. Oh, where's the quiz that you've been doing? Anyway, we've got 20 people in here. Welcome in. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Long Gun said, do you like Greenlanders? I mean, it'd be like any other country that there's going to be good and bad. No voice like it. Oh, yeah. No voice like mine. I'm such a unique guy. There's nobody like me. I stand out like a sore thumb. I'm like the... Hello, DB Cooper. How you doing? What's your name? Hello, George. How you doing? Okay. I'm telling you the greatest voice. The greatest voice. Spectacular voice. There's no voice like me. Yeah. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me because we need a little controversy because it feels so empty without me. That's like if Donald Trump was Eminem. Hello, real human, how you doing? Why didn't Harry die when Voldy... I don't know who that is. Is this supposed to be some joke or something? Yeah. I remember when I lost my mind. Yeah, remember that? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Probably. Well, 27 people. Welcome to the live, everybody. Hello, Jay Biggs. Good to see you. Hello, the Red Wolf. Whatever. You get a life, we're just here to have fun, and you just want to, I don't know, whatever. Hello, Annie. You okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? You okay, Annie? Like nobody's ever seen. Hi, Rory V. How you doing? Welcome to my live. Hello, Matt Tor. Trump, that idiot, doesn't even know where Greenland is. Oh, I think Greenland is a country that's like near Denmark. Denmark owns it, so it must be like next to Denmark, like maybe like a few miles off the coast of Denmark. Hi, Anthony. How you doing tonight? Oh, come in. Anyway, so, blessings to you all. Thank you, Outlaw Creative Junior. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I've got some water. Yeah, here we go. You're happy now? You're happy now I've had some water? Yeah, I hope you're happy now. What are the questions in the exam, Graham? Well, that's not gonna... Why would they say what questions are in the exam? Anyway, is everyone alright tonight? Hope you've all had a great day, everybody. It's so great to see you all you wonderful people. Yeah. What's it, Mark Lermiser? You're fake news, aren't you? You talk your, Junior. You call me Junior. I'm not Junior. My son is Donald Trump Jr. I'm not the junior, I'm the senior. I'm a very senior guy. But not as senior as Joe Biden. He's a very senior guy. He's a very, I would call him almost prehistoric, like the dinosaurs. I mean, he probably came into existence not long after the dinosaurs. Hello, Delaney. I mean, I'm surprised that he wasn't wiped out with the dinosaurs because he's so ancient. He's prehistoric. yeah, gotta get the hands, and I gotta make sure to do the mouth as well. Gotta get that down to make it more authentic. Everything's gotta be just right. I have to have everything just right. I have to have everything perfect. And there's another guy who likes to have everything perfect, and his name is Gordon Ramsay. Also, he likes to say it as it is, like I do. And let's hear what he has to say. That's right, Donald. I like to be brutally fucking honest. I don't like to sugarcoat things unless it's on my fucking food. I mean, sometimes I like to put fucking sugar on my food, but I don't like to sugarcoat the fucking truth. I don't want to pretend that somebody is better than what they are. I'd like to tell them to the face that you ain't got a fucking shred of fucking talent. Like that Simon Cowell, the way he would. It's like, okay, well, the singing, it's not great, is it? Well, let me be honest with you. That was absolutely atrocious. Oh yeah, Gordon doing a Donald impression, or what would like Donald doing a Gordon impression sound like? Actually, hello Joyax, how you doing? Get well soon, Graham. What's going on? How you doing tonight, everybody? Hope you've had a great day. Well, let me try to do a Gordon Ramsay impression. Well, it's like, okay, this is Donald Trump doing a Gordon fucking Ramsay impression. It would sound probably like this. So, you are one of the worst cooks I have ever fucking met in my entire life. And for that reason, I better leave my fucking kitchen. Who's that? What's that? Zoo? Wee Mama. I don't know. I think he really wants to be a content creator. Well, what else do I want to fucking be? I'm creating fucking content. If you don't like it, then why don't you buzz off somewhere else? George Watts. Well, I shouldn't have to explain anyway. Hello, Jakey. No. Hope you're well, everybody. Steve Ellis. Yeah, he was on telly last night. Was he Gordon Ramsay? Oh, really? Yeah. I just kind of thought I'd just kind of do some impressions for now, but yeah, I was doing Trump and then I was doing Gordon Ramsay. So yeah, I like to kind of switch between different ones. Also, I do Andrew Tate. Top G, or as some people call him, Bottom G, because he lost a fight recently against an amateur who really he should have beat, even with the years of not training. He wasn't exactly a great fighter. Mountain boarding. What's mountain boarding, Connor? I've heard of like skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, I've heard wakeboarding, never heard of mountain boarding. Graham says, come on everyone, hit the like button. Yes, please do everybody. 15 likes, thank you. Hello, Tatoya. It's going great, the transition. I'm doing great with the transition. Bees are no thank you. Why are you talking about the bees? Like there's all these like woke lefties who are always going on about how we need to save the bees. They're so concerned about the animals and the bees and all that. They're like, we need to save the world and I'm like, I don't care because I'm only gonna be in the world like another maybe a few years. So I don't care. So all you people should just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't care if my children get caught up in the problems and stuff because I'm just this old man and I don't care. I just want to, sip on my champagne and just enjoy my senior years. Hello, Bongani Champagne. Oh, it's funny that we got someone called Champagne when I'm talking about sipping on champagne. What a synchronicity, eh? What's going on? How you doing, Annie? Yeah. Hope you're all well tonight, people. Yeah, what's your name out low? Oh, Graham's off, is he? Yeah, so what we're talking about tonight, so I was asking about world hunger and stuff like that. So how do you think we can solve world hunger then? Has anyone got any ideas on how we can actually solve world hunger? Just as a thought experiment. Hello, Pablo Escobar. Jackfruit could help solve world hunger. Do you really think so? I've heard of jackfruit. In fact, I had it a couple of times. Like, you can make like pulled jackfruit, which, yeah, some people use it as like a kind of, instead of pulled pork, they have pulled jackfruit. So, yeah, but jackfruit is mad nice. So you had it. Yeah, does it not taste so much on its own or something? They usually put like a barbecue thing on it or something. Hello, him, they call me. How you doing? Banana fruit is nice. Yeah, banana is nice. I love bananas. My wife loves my banana more. She likes the banana. She likes the ripe banana. I'm Indian and Nigerian, born in Jamaica. Jamaica, raised in Orlando. Oh, really? All right. I've never had it. I just heard they grow without much maintenance. Oh, really? I'll have to look into that actually. I've heard about what is it, duckweed. I've heard that's supposed to be a good one. That could possibly be a good one to doing a lot of like aquaponics and stuff, and doing things like vertical farming and stuff like that. And these are ways that we could produce more food and things. So maybe some of it could be sent to like third world countries and stuff. I mean, don't they have some resources that they can trade? So it'd be like, I don't know. Yeah, I hope everyone's well tonight anyway. Let's stop playing football players and give money to Africa. Yeah, I know. It just gets a bit ridiculous when somebody could kick a ball around for like an hour and a half, whatever, and get paid like a ridiculous amount of money. I get that, oh yeah, they're good at the sport and all that, and they deserve to make a good amount of money, right? But it's when they're making like $250,000, $500,000. I mean, who's the highest paid football player? I mean, they're making crazy amounts of money, aren't they? And it's like, yeah, I get that there's a lot of training that goes into it and stuff. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of training that they have to do to get to that level, but this is stuff that they enjoy doing. This is just something that they probably enjoy doing, all the training for it and stuff. It's just that's their life, that's what they want to do. But I mean, for them to be making like that amount of money when there's people who are actually what I mean, like skilled like doctors and things like that, and they're earning not even a fraction of that. Do snails have snorkels at the hell? What sort of question is that? Snails. Huh, what the hell? Yeah, anyway. No, I've never played that. I've not played video games for quite a while, so yeah. I should maybe get back into it, but I just haven't really got into it for a while. Yeah, I used to play Xbox a lot and PlayStation. I used to play a lot of like racing games and stuff. I was talking about this the other night. I used to have Need for Speed, Midnight Club, stuff like that, and yeah. Well, why don't you just like, I mean, why don't you just go and like take your frustrations to people like who are actually wasting the most money? In fact, the government is what's wasting the most amount of taxpayers' money. Why don't you go and take your frustrations to them? If you're saying that I'm wasting taxpayers' money or whatever, if that's what you're going to claim here, then why don't you take your frustrations to them and go to, hello Diva. So if you're going to like try and, yeah. Anyway, hello Batu Hanilmaz. Hope you're doing well tonight, everybody. Welcome in. So these people are just kind of, they're probably just kind of projecting, to be honest, because they have nothing better to do. Yeah. Hi, Zach from Tokyo. Cool. Welcome in. Hello, Kairi, is it? What world where entertainment industry makes a shitload of money whilst essential workers make minimum wage? That's what I mean. It's like, it's just bullshit, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? And you wonder why people are just kind of giving up on things, because they just see how rigged everything is, They see how rigged it all is. That's why Gen Z... People want to try and blame Gen Z and be like, oh, Gen Z suck. It's like, well, can you blame them for wanting to just give up on everything when this is the hand that they're being dealt, where you've got all these Nepo babies who did fuck all for their wealth, yet you've got... If anything, they are the real fucking, like... leeches of society, I would say. These fucking Nepo babies who've done fuck all for their wealth. They've got fucking millions, and yet they got there through, no fucking work at all, and they're just, you know what I mean? It's like these people want to try and point their finger at people who are like, I'm just trying to have a good time here and just try and chat and stuff, but maybe you should actually, you know what I mean? Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I know, it's all mugs games, so why would anyone want to fucking take part in it anyway? Like, it's a joke. And then they end up taxing you a lot of your money. They tax you about 30% of your income or something. So, like, why a lot of people just decide, you know what, why even bother? You know, if you're going to get all this income tax, council tax, all this bullshit, you know what I mean? I think there's also some people that just want to gloat and try and, because they contribute so much to the system, they want to feel like they're somehow morally superior or whatever, so they can feel better about themselves, you know? It's just pathetic. Or they're just kind of projecting. I don't know, guys. I don't know what's up with some people, but anyway, let's forget about that, It's not worth any more energy spent on it, so yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone's well anyway. How do you heat? What do you mean, how do you heat? What does that even mean? How do you heat? Well, I turn the heater on. Is that what you mean? That's how I heat. I want to work because it's rewarding to me to do what I love. I found what I want to do forever. Well, that's great if you can find something that gives you purpose. And I do encourage people finding something to give them a sense of purpose in life. What kind of heater? What's it got to do with you? The more you contribute, the worse it gets. You're in about like with tax and stuff like that, then you're talking where you get penalised even more. You get more of the money taken off you. Higher earnings, the bigger the percentage of money that you get taken from you. Like, it's all rigged, but then you've got these elites who barely pay any tax at all. In fact, sometimes they get tax returns, you know? It's just wrong, isn't it? They get grants, they get all these bonuses and stuff. Meanwhile, you got people struggling. I'm not promoting God. I'm here to discuss and debate things. I'm not here to promote any side, but I did actually, you could argue I was promoting the opposite side, but I was just talking my frustrations about, you know, like, if there is a God that's supposedly loving, why would they let all this suffering happen? Why have people who are, you know, struggling just to survive, you know? And people that talk, we did that, God didn't do that. But okay, so let's say you've got somebody who's going to unalive somebody, and you see that happening, and you don't intervene. So your defense is, well, I didn't do it. You know, I let them make that decision to do it. I didn't want to intervene because it's not my place to do that. So if I was to think like God and just not intervene, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. We may not have those answers. Well, that just sounds like a cop-out to me, really. I don't know. That's, to me, just like, you'll just be like, we don't have those answers, instead of actually really just, you know what I mean? What do you do on your channel? Said School Dude. I try to just like, have debates and discussions and things like that. Different topics. That's what I do. I believe society starts making advancements when men of that society get access to untaxed import whiskey. Really? Are you just being ironic there? But anyway, so I hope everyone's well. I think that unless you're earning over a certain amount of money, you shouldn't be paying any tax. And they should probably close the tax loopholes for the rich. Until that happens, then they just keep getting richer and richer, and then meanwhile you've got people who are just about getting by. So, hello, Nicholas. Oh yeah, I've had that before. What do you mean when you say God? Who's God on what terms? What do you mean? Who are you talking to? Remember when men had balls and would fight back against malicious evil governments and unlawful enforcement officers? When was that? When was that then? Yeah, people have just gotten soft, haven't they, really? They don't have any backbone. I don't know, maybe you could say it's just because people have it too easy now. Maybe they have it too easy, so then they just have this comfortable bliss thing, you could call it, where it's like they're just about in enough bliss to where they won't, they won't what I mean, they won't rebel. When we were medieval, oh yeah. I think because you could say in some ways, times were worse back then, so they just got to a point where they snap, and then it's like, yeah, we're not going to be like you had the peasants' revolt and all that, and where they just had enough, and they were like, fuck this shit, we ain't putting up with this anymore. I think it takes things getting bad enough to where people finally have had enough. They're like, this cannot go on, but some people, people will put up with a lot, and some people will say that is stoic and whatever, and that's just, you've just got to be stoic, you've just got to put up with all the shit, you've just got to put up and shut up kind of thing. But isn't that kind of weak, though, if you're just someone who just is afraid to, actually stand up and actually be like, no, I'm not putting up with this. So it seems like they've just conditioned people just to put up with being given the short end of the stick. Hello, Ocean Sea Muscle, how you doing? Here we go with the 6-7 bullshit again. Oh, goodness. Anyway, thank you for the 20 likes, everybody. But yeah, I question all sorts of stuff. Stoicism equals weakness. It's just, as in, like, they might think they're being stoic, as in, like, oh, I'm just kind of, as in, like, they think that they're, by, tolerating so much BS. But it's like, to me, it's like, you're just a pushover. If you're just going to put up with bullshit, you're just a weak-ass fucking pushover. Like, that's what society wants to turn you into, is just someone who'll just be a yes man, who'll just put up with all kinds of bullshit. How is that a strength? I don't know. I don't see that as a strength. To me, a strength is someone who will just, kind of not accept bare minimum. Someone who just questions, like, I'm not accepting this. This is, because some people would rather just kind of put up and shut up kind of thing, because stoicism or whatever. It's like, we had to go through such hard times and all that. Yeah, it's passive. That's what I mean. People see, like, stoicism as something like about being passive and not showing any emotion, not showing any frustration or anything. But to me, and that might sound like a strength, but at a certain point, it can actually be your weakness that actually leads to you, leads to the downfall of society, I could argue. Yeah, passion is what makes a human a human. Some people, I was looking into stoicism actually, and there can be some arguments that it's not necessarily what stoicism is about. It's about resilience and things like that. And I do think that we should be, trying to take on board some of the aspects. I think it's just, like anything, it can go too far. Now let's have a look and see about, stoicism and what it actually means. So let's just see about, like, what it's talking about, emphasizing, cultivating virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. But I suppose you could say, well, with courage, you have to be able to stand up for yourself and the people, and not just, just be emotionally repressed and, like, because you could argue that this whole emotional repression thing is actually, ironically, against the actual values of Stoicism. The actual real Stoicism, where actually being able to be, sort of courageous, and sometimes this might even be being vulnerable in some ways, and being able to, have some humility and own up to your mistakes and things like that. But there's people who just repress emotions, and that's apparently what Stoicism is about. I think, to me, that sounds like a bastardization of what it is. So yeah, I mean, so we have to be careful not to be emotionally repressed, and if things are getting bad, we shouldn't be repressing that, because eventually it's going to come out in an uncontrolled way, I could argue. So yeah, hello to you, Rugburned. Hello, YKCIR. Hello, John Morris. How you doing tonight, everybody? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if I'm wrong, then, explain to me how I'm wrong, because, yeah, it's a soul that brings passion. That's where you meet and be one with consciousness and creation, right? So this is the thing, it leads to resentment. What leads to resentment? In about emotional repression. Because if you're told that you need to be emotionally repressed in order to be, kind of resilient. I mean, it's like resilience, emotional resilience that can get to a point where you reach breaking point and you have to, what do you mean I'm not tuned in tonight? What are you saying? Why is everyone saying the G word? Maybe I'll have to ban that word from the chat or something, I don't know, because I'm kind of sick of hearing people using that word as just some kind of trolling or whatever. Like, what is up with these people, eh? Why do they need to keep using these words about, I don't get it. So basically, so it says here, Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions, but transforming them into calm, rational action. So yeah, this is where I can agree with it, and I think we shouldn't be like what they did with the Southport situation. Remember the riots and stuff? That is an example of, kind of uncontrolled emotional release. Like a stoic person, a true stoic person, I would say, would actually be trying to do things in a more, I guess you could say, what's the word? I'm trying to think the word, assertive way, rather than aggressive. Like, there's a bit, it's like, some people think we either have to be passive or aggressive, but assertive is the third option. So yeah, how am I clueless then? I mean, if you can explain how I'm wrong. Meditations, I mean, what do you mean read meditations? You mean you do meditation? Meditation is something you do, right? So, or is there a book called Meditations or something? I don't know. But just kind of learn about Stoicism and how. But the thing is that what my point is that things seem to have to get really, really fucking bad for where people will stand up and actually want to stand against tyranny and people's rights being taken. Like, yeah, feels like people are kind of pussies in a way where they'll just put up with so much bullshit until they finally snap. And usually once they snap, that's when they, but yeah, you could say that that's not really Stoicism. So maybe it's not Stoicism that's the fault here, it's just people just kind of putting up with bullshit, and then eventually, once they can't put up with it anymore, it gets released in a aggressive way. So this is why people, I think, need to, if they have some issues with the current state of things, they need to get out there and get it known, their frustrations, and then, yeah, otherwise it's, fake stoic, yeah. This is the thing, is the whole emotional repression, and people are just told to, just put up and shut up. You're so lucky to be alive right now. Your parents and grandparents, they had it so much harder than you. You should feel lucky that you have what you have right now. And it's like, I get that, but it's like, but people are still, there's still a lot of problems in this world that need fixing, and people have a right to be pissed off. With all these inequalities and injustice, and of course, we're never going to have total equality. I don't believe in that we would ever have that. And that's not the point. The point is when you've got, your billionaires who could just write a check and sort out things like world poverty, but they won't do it, and the government doesn't care. None of these elitists give a fuck. It's like, when is the world actually going to come together and, you know, hold these people accountable and say, you know what, if you won't, like, you know, sort of do this, then we won't, you know, buy anything from you anymore, and we would rebel against them and say, okay, if we're gonna buy your products, you need to start supporting these causes. Otherwise, I ain't gonna bother. I ain't gonna buy your fucking Tesla. I ain't gonna buy your fucking bullshit. We're going to just come together and we're gonna say, you know what, we're not going to, you know, pay into the system and actually support it, because they're just going to, you know what I mean? Maybe that's how they need to kind of, yeah. Look, Abraham Lincoln, someone was saying how Abraham Lincoln was born on the exact same day as Charles Darwin. Did you know that? So, it's like, people are just like, I don't know if it's that they're afraid to, or they just can't be bothered. Some people just can't be bothered to actually stand up, and I don't know. If there's people here that don't do mushrooms and smoke DNC, oh really? I mean, I don't know, it's just, I was thinking, like, why do people have to take external substances to become enlightened? Isn't it all within you, right? Whatever truth is, why do you need to take some external substance for that? Is what I don't understand. Oh, it makes you enlightened, it makes you spiritual. Why do you need some external thing to do that, though? Because to me, external, like these psychoactive substances, they're probably going to make you kind of delusional and kind of hallucinate and things like that. But, I mean, who knows? You know, some say that that's more real than this reality or something. Some people say that it's some kind of portal or something. I mean, I don't know. Hello, chemistry. I mean, maybe I was, you know, kind of misinterpreting Stoicism or whatever, but some people see it as like emotional repression, and like it can get to a point where it could be seen as a weakness, because it's almost like you get to a point where you're afraid to express who you are because you've been told that that's a weakness. So you could say that that's a weakness in and of itself, because you're afraid to be vulnerable and like have people judge you or whatever. People see you as, oh, why are you oversharing or whatever. You get all these, you know, kind of like judgmental assholes who are like looking down at you and being like, oh, why do you need to say all this stuff? You're oversharing or whatever. It's like, hello, Edmund. Try being on the receiving end. I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, it depends. I mean, if you're just constantly like spilling and whatever, but it's like, we should all be trying to help each other with what we're trying to, you know, like we should all be trying to work together. And yeah, some people are quite narcissistic and they're entitled and all that, so, but there are some people on the receiving end that don't give a fuck, and they're just, all they care about is themselves. So I think we're just in quite a selfish world, to be honest, and that's the thing, is that people are too selfish to give a damn about anything beyond their own self-interest. And yeah, it's like, anyway, yeah, that's my point. Yeah, it's just, so I understand that, you know, sometimes people can get quite, well, you disagree with something. Mind-blowing opinion, really. Well, okay, well, what's your opinion then? You know, it's a bit, basically what I'm saying is, yeah, there is a lot of entitlement out there, but I don't think that people of this generation should have to suffer just because their parents had to suffer. Like, you get a lot of boomers who are like, oh, we had to suffer so we could bring you in here. And then it's like, well, does that mean that everyone should have to suffer? Shouldn't we with better technology and all that, have way, way better quality lives. But yet, the average person's quality of life is still, held back. I mean, you could say a lot of it's due to automation and things like that, where their profits are going up through the roof, but yet the average person's income isn't. I mean, I'm not saying that they said that, but what I'm saying is that they seem to kind of imply that they think that Gen Z or millennials, that they should suffer because, well, they had to suffer, so why shouldn't they have to suffer as well? Oh, that's just life. But, with all these advancements, it's like I think that people's basic needs should be met without them having to work to make money. Like, I think housing and food should be provided for. I'm not saying by the state or anything, but I'm saying there should be more initiatives to build affordable housing that is very cheap with modern techniques, and have more public food, things like community gardens and things like that would help with creating more food supply. No, not by the taxpayer. I mean, I would say that, well, if it is the taxpayer, then the rich should be the ones paying for it, not the poor. I mean, the rich are already making too much money as it is. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You would just want to help others. That's the thing. Wouldn't that be a good thing? You would help others because you want to, not because you have to. You know what I mean? You would just do what it is you want to do. You would be able to find your purpose. A lot of people get distracted because they feel like they have to do a certain job that they don't want to do. We shouldn't be in a situation where we don't have any leverage and we haven't got any. That's not. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? People just working all these hard jobs and stuff, and then they're being told that, oh, well, that's just life. A lot of money just going to other people who are just fat cats or something. Like these people working in offices, doing all the hard work, while you got these fat cats, pen pushers, who just they'll just put their feet up and just kind of let all the people do the donkey work for them, but yet they'll make the most amount of money. I'm just saying it's not really fair, is it? Free gym at work, we get mugged in construction. What do you mean, mugged? Well, it's good if you got a free gym, I suppose. Most people don't want help, they just want what you got. Well, yeah, there is that. Some people are just leeches. Underpaid. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, people just getting squeezed for all their worth, and they're just. But the thing is, the elites, they could probably do something to actually help with, world hunger, right? Now, it's not our responsibility, I don't think, because it's their responsibility, right? They should be the ones to sort it out. And I guess we need to try and make them accountable for it, really. And until we do that, then it's just going to continue, I think. Yeah, there is that. It's crazy, isn't it? When people with everything who don't need any more, but yet they still try and take from others. It's just wrong. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, isn't it? Where people were getting paid more, even in some cases in early 2000s, than they are now. And yet the prices of things going up and up and up, but people are just told to accept that that's just the way things are, right? Oh, it's just life. That's just life. It's just tough. That's just how it is. That's just, such is life. Hi, Roman Whiskers. How you doing? Hello, Custom. yeah, just that's just life. That's just life. That the system is like that, you know. People have a very blasé attitude. Maybe I was a bit kind of unfair on stoicism. That is not stoicism whatsoever. That is just yeah. That is just complacency and just. Where am I from? I'm from the UK. Where are you from? I guess you could say through adversity is what causes people to, you know, like. So maybe there isn't enough adversity. You could argue. And oh, thank you, Virus Mark. I'd rather give you money instead of a poor family. Well, why would you say that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you should have given it to a poor family, but yeah. But yeah. What's that? Biracial and from America. Oh yeah. Hi, Top Flight Secrecy, Craig. How you doing tonight? I don't know. I just get passionate about some of these things sometimes. Where it just like, you know what I mean. You've got these people who have all the money. They have the power to do it, but they don't. Like, they'll just expect you to be the ones to do it all. They expect you to be the ones to start charities. They expect you to, you know, be the ones to try and make positive changes. They'll never do it. You know what I mean? It's all up to you if you want to help make, you know, like a better world. But they'll never put their finger in their pockets unless it benefits them in some way. The only time that they'll do it, some of these people, it's like, for example, you got people like Mr. Beast, is to make themselves look good. That's all they care. They have to publicize it. Now, the good thing is you got people like, what's he called? What was he called? Keanu Reeves, who did some good stuff, but he didn't want it to be like, I don't think he wanted it to be publicized, like what is giving it to and stuff like that, because, yeah, I think it's just like, it's not out there to try and be like, oh, look at me, I'm like giving all this money away. Because there's people who do that where they're like, oh, look at me, I'm giving all this money to charity. I'm such a great person. You should support me. Oh, look, I'm giving money to such a charity, to cancer research, or whatever it might be, right? Yeah. Mr. Beast always gave me the ick. Oh, yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? Bro, you're always live, not that it's a bad thing. Oh yeah, I'm alright, thank you. How you doing? Agent X says, a charity is a great business plan for tax breaks. Most CEOs of large charities get a six-figure salary. That's true, yeah. It's just a way to look like you're doing something good, but most of the time they're actually not even given probably that much. I think that by law they only have to give a minimum of like 10% of the money that they're making to charitable causes. For him to call it a charity. So you could just call yourself a charity even though you're not actually giving that much to charity. Yeah. A lot of it's just, yeah, like you said, tax evasion and stuff. It's as well. Charity needs attention sometimes to attract more money to be able to help more. Yeah, I suppose. But I feel like some people are just doing things with not the best intentions, that their only interest is, look at me, I'm giving money to charity. Like, and look at how much I've given to the homeless. Now you could say, well, it might encourage somebody else to do it if they're showing that they're doing it. I mean, maybe they could talk about certain charities that are worth supporting rather than, oh, look at me, look at how much money I've given to them. Maybe you could say something like, oh, maybe you could support this charity. That I think this charity might be one worth supporting. So charity and religion equally good for tax evading. That's true. Yeah, because religion's kind of almost like a charity in a sense, because they'll do things like, I guess, you know, using things like, what is it, when they do things such as, oh, thank you again, Via Smart. You are my charity. Oh, really? Oh, goodness. So, like, when they do things like giving out free food to people, for example, that's a tax write-off, isn't it? Because if it's coming out of their expenses, they get donations a lot of times. So it's kind of like a charity, right? A church is kind of like, it's like a charity, right? Am I wrong? So if it's coming out of business expenses, then yeah, they can just use it as like, oh well, I had to pay this money to buy food for some kind of banquet or whatever, so that we could feed some homeless people or whatever. So then they can just it's a good thing that they're doing, but it's like oftentimes the intentions are not good, is what I'm saying. What is the most important means to help structurally? Usually you want to support people in such a way that they will be able to support themselves in the future. Well, there's that saying that goes, isn't it? Feed a man a fish, or something like that. You'll feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you feed him for the rest of his life. So is this what you're kind of saying, right? That hello, Tarek. Hello, Ivan. So what we're saying is like, don't make the money as an idol. Exactly. Money is one of power. So what I'm saying is like, if you teach someone how to make money and teach someone how to, be responsible, then that is better than just, spoon feeding somebody. You know what I mean? You have to actually, yeah. Hello, DMC88. How you doing? That's a Back to the Future reference, right? DMC88, DeLorean DMC. Yeah. So it's like about giving people lessons. It's like, for example, a homeless person. Is it better to, you could say that. Well, some might say that you should give them food instead of money, because that way you know that they're not just going to spend it on alcohol or something. Thank you for subscribing. You already subscribed, Ghost Samurai, haven't you? Oxfam advert, Jamie, you've been watching. No, I haven't, but isn't Oxfam quite if I remember, they have some quite woke stuff or something, I don't know. Like, they might have some good things going on, but if I remember, it's quite isn't it quite a woke charity or something, I don't know. Well, let's see what they do. What does Oxfam do again? They're like, let's see, it's, not Ukrainian, I'm English. What sort of stuff is it? From climate-driven floods and wildfires. So they're claiming it's climate-driven, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, there could be some truth, but it's like, a lot of this wildfire stuff, I think, has to do with forest management, or mismanagement, shall I say. What's this? If you were homeless, you'd want a bottle of wine or two, though, to get a good night's sleep. But you wouldn't. But then it's like, how do you know how many people have already given them alcohol or something? Some people abuse it. That's the thing. It's kind of enabling of like continued homelessness. In some cases, some people don't want to help themselves. I think that's the unfortunate thing, is that they're just kind of perpetually just in alcohol, and they're just going to end up staying in that state for a long time. So, vapor is worthless. Yeah. It might be good for just wiping your ass with. That's what these paper notes are good for, I guess. You can, there's that. Yeah. This is the thing, is that people who are homeless could, that if they steal, then they get shelter. It's just fucked up, isn't it? That your punishment for stealing, if you're homeless, then you end up in a better situation. It's like, so then they might even continue to do crime, whilst in order to stay away from the streets in some cases, right? So you could argue that by not sorting out homeless people, could that actually be causing more crimes? Just had a thought there. It's like we maybe should need to tackle the homeless situation, not just because it's good for them, but it's also in terms of, because could this actually reduce crime in some ways? Because if we are incentivizing them to do crimes to go to jail, and then to continue to do crimes to stay in jail because it's better than the alternative or something, Yeah, money is just a tool, but yeah, it's basically money itself isn't the root of all evil. It's greed, it's lust. That's what I would say anyway. Thank you for the 25 likes. Um, no, money is. Yeah, I've just read that one. Christoph Horvath. Yeah, modern society isn't abnormality. I thought you was going to say an abomination. I could say that is an abomination as well, but in a way, would anyone agree that it's kind of like an abomination? You know, like I see the way that things are. I see a lot of just bitterness and there's a lot of just toxicity in modern society. But then again, some might say, well, that's only if you look at it that way. I agree. I'm just saying the money causes more trouble for city folks trapped in slavery. Yeah, like there's people who do crimes and they'll then end up going to jail because they're in a shitty financial situation. But it's almost like by having all this poverty, we're creating more criminals, right? Maybe if we don't want more criminals, then one of the ways to do it is to stop. Well, I was actually talking to someone earlier, and they said that the actual more money is lost in crime due to things like tax evasion and like what they call blue collar workers and stuff. That's what they were saying, than actually from people like homelessness and stuff. But the thing is, homeless and stuff like that, it's just the system doesn't like incentivize people to actually be law abiding citizens in a way. They're just incentivizing people to just what I mean. Because what is the alternative kind of thing for a lot of people? That is slavery. Only people living above their means are slaves. Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, if you're living above your means, then you're trapped into that. Look, a lot of people are living in luxury poverty. They're buying all the latest shit with money they don't have, trying to impress people that don't care, or don't care about them. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think, Buy money for things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people that you don't even like. They don't like you, but you're just doing it because you think you're going to be seen as cool, but no one actually. And even if they do care, why would you even want to impress these people in the first place? These very, materialistic, superficial kind of people who only care about if you've got the latest iPhone or not, Watching from India, how you doing, the gentleman? Hope you're well. Hello, Safira, how you doing? So this is the thing, why would anyone do it? To me, that is just idiocracy. That is craziness to me. Like, why would anyone, do that? Hello, James Little, really? Like, why would anyone even, I don't know, it's just ridiculous to me, really, but some people are just evil, man. Yeah, some people are just insecure and just they feel the need to fit in with some group of people or something that they just do whatever to go along with that. They don't think to themselves. They don't zoom out for a second and think, why do I need that? Why do I need to fit in with this group of people? Surely there's other people out there that would be a lot more wholesome, who I can just feel like I can be myself around them and not have to be a lot of people are performative around people. They try and act a certain way. They pretend they're not authentic because they can't be their authentic self around them. They would be ridiculed for being their authentic self. So, that's the thing. It's like we're creating a society where they're afraid to be their true authentic self. You don't really see a lot of expression, do you? I mean, there is some, but I feel like a lot of the expression is actually kind of performative in of itself. Like when you get the people with the blue hair and things like that. In a way, I could argue that that is a performative form of self-expression, where they're trying to fit in with their tribe of people who are that having this pretentious form of self-expression, where it's about expression and being yourself, but really they're doing it in that way. They're doing it in a way that is seen as acceptable to that group of people that are part of that clique. You know what I mean? Instead of being true, like unapologetically you, someone who will speak their mind, someone who will, who's willing to take risks, who's willing to, make themselves look like an idiot, Hello, another tap. So, this is the thing. Has there ever been a society where self-expression has never been a thing? Maybe it's part of a human being. I mean, what I'm saying is that people's expression oftentimes is not genuine, and it's a performative thing that they're doing, expressing a certain style or whatever. Like you see these people following trends, they're trying to fit in with either whether they're trying to fit in with a certain group or whether they're trying to fit in with whatever social norms at the time. Like you'll see a certain trend in haircut, for example. This isn't them being true to themselves. This is them just following a trend of certain people or a certain trend that's going around society. True expression is about just ignoring all of that and just doing whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah, fake goth is an example of that, because it's like the TikTok aesthetic and all that, and them just being these copycats and whatever. Yet they probably couldn't even mention a song from like heavy metal or anything like that. You'll see them with all these. To me, it's just fake, and it's just performative to try and fit a certain kind of whatever aesthetic. They're more into like the aesthetics, and they care more about that rather than a true expression of who they are. Like they just go along with whatever trend instead of finding out who they truly are. So that's the thing, is that people are afraid to try and find out who they truly are, because that means that they might not fit in with the rest of a group. But you have to learn to be able to embrace that. And the right people will come along regardless of whatever it is that you do choose to express yourself as. Maybe you choose to be a bit more of a hippie or something like that. You'll find your group, if you want to be that way, Everyone's got their own niche or whatever. But it has to be authentic and not influenced by society. You could argue that we're always influenced by society in some way, but you have to choose what you're influenced by, being able to choose the path that you want to go down instead of being some NPC who just follows a path that's predetermined for you, if you get me. Well, that's good then, Virus Mark, if that's what you want to do and that's how you want to live. So yeah, I have no problem with that. Life's about the journey, not the destination, right? I'm influenced by a Jet2 holiday. Oh yeah, it's like that song's like been, popping up again, hasn't it, with that, that was it, Jess Glynn, whatever. What's it called, that song, it's like, yeah, it was played on, someone was playing it earlier. Yeah, that's a meme, isn't it? Yeah. How does anyone measure world hunger? I'd say the whole concept of it is just to take money for charities. I mean, so are you trying to deny that world hunger exists? I can agree that charities oftentimes are not really genuine about it, but I'm pretty sure that there is some real problems out there. There's some really nasty things out there. There's a lot of malnutrition and stuff out there that even in this country there's that, like I said, if you've got some homeless people who are genuinely homeless, and sometimes they might go days where they don't really get access to anything. There's enough food for everyone, says Edward. Yeah, but I don't think it's being distributed properly, is it? But anyway, hello Siraj. Okay, whatever then. Anyway, Stargazer says, I just got put in timeout by a Christian streamer because I responded to his comment that I should change my name because he thought it sounded like witchcraft. I said, looking at the stars was praised. Well, that's the thing. It's like, how is stargazing witchcraft? That is ridiculous. Yoon says, if you thought, oh really? No, I don't. I don't know. Some people are just ridiculous, aren't they? They're like such like zealous. This is the sort of people that just give things like Christianity and religion a bad name because they're just like they're not exactly being like accepting and open to bringing people in. They're just being, oh, if you do something that I disagree with, then you're a demon or some crap like that. If these ads say that say people have to walk 30 miles to drink water, why would they just not live next to the water? Makes absolutely no sense. Well, I'm not sure if I mean, you might have a point there, but I don't know if you could argue that it's not a place that's really livable. I don't know. I'm trying to think about that really. But yeah, maybe they do exaggerate certain things, but it's like, is world hunger not a thing then or something, or is it really as bad as what it's made out to be? Like, maybe it's not as bad as it's made out to be or something. Doesn't the water dry up? Yeah, I think it does a lot of cases, doesn't it? Define normal. Oh yeah, and then Cool Hand says they are normal. Who's normal? What are you talking about? Populations don't tend to be where there is no source of water. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to have a population where it's dry. I mean, isn't there a thing called the Congo Basin? I would have thought that a lot of people would live there where it's like a jungle. It's literally the second largest rainforest in the world behind the Amazon. So you would think that quite a lot of the populations would live in those kind of regions where they're going to probably have a lot of rain and stuff like that, but what the hell are they doing in regions where it's so dry, you could argue? I don't know. Are directly next to water below sea level, think New Orleans. Well, New Orleans is a bit dangerous, isn't it, with all the flood that could happen, and look what happened with Hurricane Katrina. So, you know, we have to be pragmatic about, you know, if you're below sea level or on sea level, it's easily can be flooded and stuff unless there's flood defenses that can block it, because they got absolutely obliterated with that, didn't they? Hurricane Katrina. The three wise men were like, no, we can't follow the star, it's witchcraft, mate. Oh, really? That's crazy, that, isn't it, you know? But didn't God create the stars, though, you know? How is it witchcraft when God created everything, right? I don't know, it just sounds ridiculous to me, but do you think Kanye was right? What was he right about, what you're saying? I mean, didn't he go a bit crazy or something? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe like him and like Candace Owens are secretly smashing or something. I don't know. Yes, that's why I thought they give God a bad name. You give God a bad name. Remember that song, Bon Jovi? Hi, Need to Play. How you doing? Reminds me of Need for Speed or something. Anyway, healthy balance to everything, good and evil. So, like, I'm just wondering, like, let's put in, why do Africans live where there's no water? Let's ask this question, right? It says, people live in water-scarce areas in Africa due to a combination of historical settlement, ancestral land ties, poverty and a lack of infrastructure. Despite the continent having significant overall water resources, uneven distribution, high evaporation rates and climate-induced droughts force millions to rely on distant sources, while economic, political, and in some cases security factors prevent migration to water-rich areas. So do you believe that then, or because like what was it called, Death Bat or something that was saying about how, you know, that they're Basically, what you mean, Bushisms, what you're saying, I don't know what that means, but so maybe there's certain things that stopping them from accessing water-rich areas or something. Is that true or what? It's a half-truth and nonsense. Can you explain more about that? What do you mean it's a half-truth? What is the half-truth then? What is the partial lie or something like? Can we explain, like, elaborate more on that, because not quite sure what you're saying there. Anyway, so it's what it says here about uneven water distribution. Some rebels might control the territory. Okay. Hello, Dar. So what? So isn't that like stopping them from like going elsewhere or something like that? It says like some parts of Africa have vast water resources, e.g., like the Congo Basin. So I talked about that, the Congo Basin, which is the second largest forest, second largest rainforest in the world. That 30% of the continent's water is in a region populated by only 10% of its people. Many arid or semi-arid regions such as the Sahel are densely populated but face water scarcity. So the question is, why don't they all start moving more towards towards what are you on about, Rwanda genocide? What do you mean? So is this like, so why is it that they can't move to, let's see, let's have a look. Why can't Africans move to the Congo Basin? So talk about it's constrained by extreme insecurity, including violent conflict and kidnapping, lack of infrastructure, and challenging environmental conditions. So a lot of it's to do with like conflicts and so that might be stopping them from being able to access more resource-rich places, you could call it. Well, it says there's a lot of inaccessible swamps, which make establishing new communities physically difficult or something. So, yeah, I suppose with the jungle it can be quite difficult, I suppose. Well, I would have thought there'd be a lot of different areas within it that are not so bad or something, but like historical Africans are probably better off than modern day ones as far as survivability goes. Oh, really? Have you got any like research on that to back that up or something? So yeah. So they're trying to something about conservation, saying that they're something about biodiversity and climate regulation. So we're talking about climate regulation. So does that mean that all these fucking climate people are actually like supporting Africans basically not being able to access more, to be able to flourish better, is what I'm saying? They would rather more care about the climate than actually care about helping Africans to actually live a better life. Is that what's going on now? Everyone is stuck in the money trance. What's that? So I don't know. It's just a mess, isn't it? Really. So I don't know like how true all that stuff is. Whether But there has to be a reason why they don't just go to the Congo Basin, because it sounds like somewhere that they'd be better off in a lot of cases than being in somewhere like the more arid regions where it's desert and a lot of savanna and just, but some of it could be like I said, quite swampy, I guess, and hard to really sort of, a lot of really swampy areas that you could say there might be a lot of flooding in some of those areas as well. So, but is it all flooded, or I'm just wondering, like, what you guys think, really. Some want to stay on their land that's been for ages. What you're saying that, like, it's more just a kind of tradition thing rather than that they have to stay there. Like, they could move from it if they really wanted to. Is that what you're saying in a lot of cases? I'm just wondering how much of the Congo Basin is... well, you've got this thing called tribal conservationists or something that I don't know. It's just charities bullshitting. So, like, what I'm saying is that could they actually live in the Congo Basin if they really wanted to? As long as they're away from swampy areas or something, but it's absolutely a massive, massive area is the Congo Basin. Like I say, it's the second biggest rainforest in the world. I mean, let's compare it in size to the Amazon rainforest. Let's have a look. Obviously, not all of it's going to be able to be habited. But maybe if they just kind of live with nature in more kind of, like maybe if it's just a hut or something, even if it, like just to have shelters that's not really bad for the environment, and they live with nature and they just eat mostly just like from the earth, basically, and just kind of, like, it's people in like Western countries that are making more of an impact. I think they could probably just live a simple life in the rainforest, I guess, if they wanted to. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant on this, but is it like jungle and mountain and rainforest and 500-pound silverback gorillas? I suppose if that could be quite a threat, I guess, if they end up getting caught up in that. I suppose. I guess they've got to be careful where they're going if they could end up, because the gorillas actually like attack humans or something. Because I'd have to look at that. Because I mean. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. It says they generally do not attack humans and or shy, peaceful creatures that only act in self-defense or when surprised, threatened or provoked. Attacks are very rare, usually involving warning, bluff charges by silverbacks to protect their family. Serious attacks, while uncommon, can cause severe injury. So yeah, it doesn't sound like because I remember there was a thing with wolves where even wolves don't tend to attack humans most of the time. So it's oftentimes some of the biggest, strongest animals and stuff aren't always the ones that are the most threatening ones. Of course, you don't want to get bitten by a shark or something, but yeah, some big animals are actually mostly harmless. Yeah, hello, MLLL9023. So like, let's have a look at the comparison. So we've got, let's see. So Amazon rainforest is roughly 2 million square miles versus the Congo Basin rainforest, which is 0.68 to 1.4 square miles. Why does it say 0.68 to 1.4 million? What is it? That's quite a big spread of numbers. What, your name's Craig, is it? Well, nice to meet you, Craig. Okay, hang on. Can you stop spamming the chat? Right, get rid of this person. We don't have spam in here, do we, Right, so But it says the Amazon is more than 3 times larger than the Congo Basin. Right. But it's still a very, very big place. Like the Congo Basin, I believe it's the second biggest rainforest in the world. Hello, Shivanshu. I don't know. So I remember I was talking about, like whether Africans can get out of their situation through manifestation. But if a lot of them are there because of tradition, then it's some kind of mindset of like, oh, I should just stay here because I've always been here. Is it the whole thing of fear of the unknown or something like that? A lot of people just like to stick to what they know. That could be what it is. And that's why a lot of people end up kind of just stuck in a rut, stuck where they are, and never progress. I'm not saying that that's what they're all doing. Just trying to figure out, like, why is it that they always seem to be stuck when they hear about them in these arid places of Kenya or wherever, and that they're in these in these huts and the very arid, dry conditions with very little food, crops failing. Does that really happen as much as what they make it out to, or what do you guys think? Perfect example. Someone tell me what's that then? What we're talking about. So it says here, projected population boom. Massive increases. The population of the Central African region is expected to increase by 60% by 2035 and could double by 2050. BRC dominance. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo alone, the population is projected to grow from roughly 105 million today to 218 million by 2050, migration inward. As urban and peripheral areas become overcrowded, people are expected to migrate deeper into forested areas for land and resources. So, yeah. Well, it says here about agriculture and stuff like that, and saying that small-scale farming for food and charcoal production currently accounts for 84% of forests lost in the basin as families move to clear land for survival. They know why they don't move. For example, in Turks, foreigners are rushing to build beachfront homes. They assume locals are dumb not to do so, but wise men don't build on sand in the islands. Well, yeah, that's really not a good idea. If you're going to build on sand on an island, you're going to get washed away, right? This is what I was saying about, like, in New Orleans, it was kind of like, you could argue in a way it was a disaster waiting to happen. If you have somewhere that's built on swamp, basically, like, what do you expect kind of thing? But it is what it is, really. But yeah, you hear all these like seafront places being built, you know. Just look at like Dubai, for example, you know. If we're to believe in all this climate stuff, then that place is just going to get washed away, right? It's right on sea level, and it's just get absolutely obliterated, according to like sea level rising or whatever they're telling you that's happening. Which I think is strange because the ancient wall builders did everything else. Mayan had one for a calendar. What was that? Africa are the only people on Earth who never invent. Oh, really? Is that true? Why did they never invent any wheel or something? It's just, I don't know, it just seems like, I don't know, like, why are they in such, like, if we're to believe it's anywhere near what they're making out in these adverts, like, why they have to be stuck in those areas with scarce resources? What, like you said, why would they walk 30 miles a day to get water? That seems a bit like what the hell, like, why wouldn't they just live where the water is? They could say, well, they have to come back to their crops or something. So then, can they not have crops near where the water is or something? I don't know. Oh, really? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think I look fairly British. I don't know. That's just. I mean, all my family is British as far as I know, so. Like, I don't know what makes me different looking to just a British person. I mean, all British people look kind of different. Like, you've got some ginger, some, blonde-haired people, brown-haired people, black-haired people, who are British people, So what makes me different from all those ones in terms of my looks? I don't know, like, why I would look so different from the rest of them. I mean, I don't think I do. I don't know why people keep going on about it anyway. Like, why are they... I don't know why they keep being so obsessed about me looking Russian or looking Albanian or something. I don't get it. So do you think Africans forgot everything, or did the ancient builders keep the technology and knowledge from then, and why? I don't know. Possibly. Who knows what's going on, really? Yeah, because why don't they have more technology there, and what's going on? Why are they so behind everywhere else? I think South America can be quite bad in some places as well. I remember, like, with the favelas and things like that. I remember we got taught about a lot of that stuff in geography class, about favelas, like shanty towns in, like, Brazil and stuff like that. Full spectrum daylight bulb. Why? What for? Anyway, so we've got E. Parker. How are you doing? Sometimes it's better to examine the collective mindset of communities or societies that perplex us. Yeah. I don't know. Like, why is it that they don't move? Is it that they have some restrictions? Is it to do with conflicts going on? Like I was saying, with things like the Congo Basin, that they can't all just move there because there's insecurities or conflicts going on over there. So, because sometimes people say, oh, why don't they just do such a thing? Well, maybe it's not as simple as that. But I don't know exactly what's going on over there because I've never been there. I've never been there to investigate it and to find out the truth. So all we can do here is kind of speculate. Unless you've got some kind of like investigative journalist going over and find out exactly what the hell is going on there. Why have they got all these problems? Are these problems over there as bad as what they make out? Anyway. Hello, Tully J. Oh, really, Joe? Okay. So what do you make of it then, Stargazer? Do you think the problems over there are a bit exaggerated by these people, or what? But I still think there is some serious issues going on in Africa and places like that where... But I don't know, but I do think that I still think that these elites should probably try and help out and do what they can. I think they've got a moral duty to do it because they don't need all this money for themselves, right? They could write out a check to help out, and they would still be rich. They could still have most of their money. That's the crazy thing about it. They could come together, all write a check, and still keep 90% of their wealth. That's too much to ask for, I guess. Anyway, hope everyone's well tonight. What have I been up to today? No, I did a workout earlier, and yeah, just gotta try and keep that stuff up, innit? Hello, trust me, bro. Think so. I like to just try and figure out what's going on with the world and why things are the way they are. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah. So what would you say then, Stargazer? Just have a look. It's good. What's that? It's good if you're indoors and in winter. Yeah, I've heard about UV lamps and shit like that. They can help people with seasonal affective disorder. Some say we're supposed to be sleeping more and hibernating during winter, but because in modern society we've gone past that, so that might be why a lot of people get depressed in winter and stuff. So just wondering what your thoughts are on the Africa situation, really, Stargazer. I was asking you a question about what your thoughts are and what your thoughts are to try and help resolve it if there is any problems worth kind of trying to fix. The problems can be exaggerated as a strategy to control public perception. You're on about for charities and stuff. For charities and all that, yeah, maybe. But it doesn't mean that there's nothing going on. Yeah, it might be exaggerated, but it doesn't mean that everything's fine over there, right? Yeah, I've heard about grounding and barefoot. I've heard that's supposed to have some health benefits. Might have to look more into that actually, because I did see some documentary on it. Whether it's to be trusted or not, I don't know, but it's supposed to help with clumpy blood and help get blood flowing better and things. Hello, Boily Boyle, not seen you for ages. How are you doing? Boily Boyle, I've seen you before now. Boily Boyle. Huh. How's it going? Yes, I've been hearing about red light for eyesight. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, red light therapy. But yeah, grounding's supposed to be a good one, isn't it? I've also heard of another thing called, what is it? You know, like with like positive and negative ions and shit like that. Some say that positive ions are destructive to health and stuff. Positive and negative ions. So a lot of us are in positive ion environments, which can be supposed to be quite destructive for health. In Haiti, for example, I always saw images of poverty and violence. When I went myself, I met a billionaire from Haiti that same week who opened my eyes to the wealth and riches in Haiti. But then just because there's wealth in there, that doesn't mean that there's not poverty as well, right? So, like there's could be extreme wealth and extreme poverty going on. Like even in this country we've got problems like with extreme poverty in some cases, whilst also having extreme wealth. So just because you met a billionaire, does that mean that there isn't any problems there? And sound waves and frequencies. Yeah, I've heard about things like like, you know, tuning forks and stuff like that. I've heard that's supposed to be a good one. Yeah. Tuning fork. Let's have a look. Let's have a look about the health benefits of that. So it's supposed to be about deep relaxation, stress reduction, pain management, and improved mental clarity by using specific sound frequencies to stimulate the nervous system and body tissues. These vibrations promote circulation, reduce inflammation, release emotional blockages, and help align the body's energy centers. So, yeah. Okay, we're not having the spam in the chat. Come on, guys. Stargazer, very interesting. I do a lot of sound stuff tonight, chanting Tibetan, singing bowls meditation. Yeah, I've heard about Tibetan bowls. Just looking at this thing on tuning forks. So specific frequencies, particularly higher pitched ones, e.g. 1024 hertz, help reduce mental fog and enhance alertness. So there's all these different benefits apparently. Pain relief and muscle tension reduction. Weighted forks, when placed on the body, increase local blood circulation, relax muscles, and help alleviate joint stiffness and chronic pain, apparently. Yeah. Toning in vowel sounds great for nervous system, right? So could this be good for like traumas and stuff then? Let's have a look on this one. There's like a support, so yeah, it's like emotional trauma, stress reduction, grounding tool. So talk about grounding, but yeah. Anyway, so it's about nervous system regulation, grounding and somatic awareness, emotional release and stuck energy, and brainwave entrainment. So yeah, that's hello Jellybee. Interesting, higher pitch is normally linked to uncomfortable sounds. I guess it depends on how extreme it is. But yeah, if it's really high pitched, then yeah, it could be seen as uncomfortable. But I guess it depends on the tolerance of the individual and also how extreme the high pitch is. Anyway, I might restart this live soon actually, because it has dropped off and yeah. So I might continue this chat on, but yeah, I'll see you all, hang on. Anyway, I'll see you all in a minute.